The judge leaned forward and looked straight at my husband.
His voice was calm. Too calm.
"Mr. Harris," he said, "before I decide anything, I need to ask you one simple question." My heart stopped. My hands were shaking so badly, I had to hold them together under the wooden table. My husband, Daniel, sat across from me in his expensive gray suit. He looked confident,
Smug.
like he had already won. The courtroom was silent. No coughing, no whispering, no movement. Just that one question hanging in the air. "What were you doing?" the judge continued slowly. "On the night your wife called the police crying. And why did every camera in your house suddenly stop working?" Daniel's face went pale. And that's when I knew everything was about to change. But before I tell you what happened next, please, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, if you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, tap like, stay with me till the end, and subscribe for more real stories like mine. Because what I went through almost destroyed me, and I don't want anyone else to feel that pain alone. Now let me take you back. Back to when my life was still beautiful. Before Daniel turned into my worst enemy. Before he tried to erase me. Before he sued me for breaking up our family. My name is Emily Harris. I'm 32 years old. I grew up in a small town outside Columbus, Ohio. I met Daniel when I was 19 at Ohio State University. He was tall, funny, and always knew how to make me laugh when I was stressed.
He used to walk me home after class.
He used to bring me coffee before exams. He used to hold my hand and say, one day I'm going to marry you and take care of you forever. And I believed him. We got married when I was 24. Small church, white dress, happy tears. My parents crying in the front row. I thought I had won the lottery of life. 2 years later, we had our daughter, Lily. She had Daniel's brown eyes and my smile. She was perfect. Our little house in suburban Columbus wasn't big, but it was warm. We had movie nights on Fridays, pancakes on Saturdays, church on Sundays. Daniel worked in sales. I stayed home for a while, then later got a job as a school secretary at Lincoln Elementary. Life wasn't rich, but it was peaceful. At least, I thought it was. Things started changing after Daniel got promoted. More money, more late nights, more business trips, more phone calls he'd take in another room. At first, I told myself, he's just working hard for us. But then, he stopped smiling at me, stopped listening,
Stopped asking about my day.
Sometimes I'd talk, and he'd just stare at his phone. One night, I asked gently, "Did I do something wrong?" He sighed and said, "Emily, you're too emotional." That word, emotional. He started using it all the time. When I cried, when I questioned him, when I felt lonely. "You're emotional. You're dramatic. You're imagining things." Slowly, I began to doubt myself. Maybe I was crazy. Maybe I was needy. Maybe I was the problem. Then Lily started asking questions. "Mommy, why Daddy never plays with me anymore?" That broke me. One evening, I accidentally saw a message on Daniel's phone. It popped up while he was in the shower. "Can't wait to see you again tonight, Red Heart, Ashley." My stomach dropped. My hands went cold. I stared at that screen like it was burning. When he came out, I asked him calmly, "Who is Ashley?" He didn't even hesitate. "A coworker." "You're overthinking." But his eyes avoided mine. That night, I couldn't sleep. I felt like my heart was cracking. Over the next months, things got worse. He stayed out later. He came home smelling like perfume. He stopped giving me money for groceries on time. Then one day, he said something that changed everything. "I think we need space," Daniel told me. "Space." I repeated.
"Yeah."
"You're stressing me out. I can't breathe in this house." I begged him. I cried. I said, "Let's go to counseling. Let's fix this. For Lily." He laughed. Actually laughed. "There's nothing to fix," he said. "You're just difficult." 2 weeks later, he moved out. Left me with the bills. Left me with Lily. Left me with silence. Then came the real nightmare. 3 months after he left, I got served court papers. I was being sued by my own husband for breaking up our family, for emotional abuse, for turning our child against him, for mental instability. I couldn't breathe when I read it. He was painting me as a monster, a crazy woman, an unfit mother. He wanted full custody. He wanted the house. He wanted everything. And he wanted me ruined. I went to a cheap lawyer because I couldn't afford more. Mr. Jenkins. Kind eyes.
Old voice.
He read the papers and frowned. Emily, he said softly, your husband is playing dirty. I asked, why would he do this? Mr. Jenkins looked at me and said, because he's hiding something. The court date was set for June. For weeks, Daniel stopped talking to me completely.
Only his lawyer contacted mine.
Then something terrifying happened. One night, Lily and I were watching cartoons. Around 9 p.m., someone started banging on my door.
Hard.
Police. Open up. My heart jumped. I opened the door shaking. 2 officers stood there. Ma'am. One said, we received a call about domestic disturbance.
What?
I whispered.
They walked in.
They looked around. They asked Lily questions. She started crying. I held her tight. I didn't call anyone, I said. Later, I found out Daniel had called. He told them I was unstable, that I was screaming, that I was dangerous. They didn't arrest me, but they wrote a report, and that report was sent to the court. 2 weeks later, I lost my job. The school said they were concerned about my situation. I was broke.
Scared.
Alone. And then, the day of the court hearing came. I wore my only black dress. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Daniel walked in smiling, with Ashley beside him, his co-worker. Pregnant. Everyone saw. Everyone whispered. I felt like throwing up. He was building a new life, while destroying mine. And then, his lawyer stood up and said something that made the entire room gasp. Your Honor, she said, we would like to present evidence that Mrs. Harris is mentally unstable and unfit to raise a child. She handed over a folder. The judge opened it and started reading. My lawyer whispered, Emily, this is bad. My heart crashed, because inside that folder were fake messages, fake reports, and pictures edited to make me look insane. Daniel looked at me and smirked, like he had won, like he had buried me alive. And that was when I realized my own husband had just declared war on me, and I was about to lose everything. My child, my home, my life. And the judge was still reading. The judge kept flipping through the pages.
Slowly, carefully.
Each sound of paper moving felt like a hammer hitting my chest.
Flip, flip, flip.
My lawyer, Mr. Jenkins, leaned close to me and whispered, Stay calm, Emily. Breathe. But I couldn't. My lungs felt frozen. My ears were ringing. I could barely hear anything except my own heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. Daniel sat across from me, relaxed. One arm resting on the table, one leg crossed. Ashley sitting behind him, rubbing her pregnant belly, like she already owned my life. The judge finally looked up. Mrs. Harris, he said, these documents suggest serious emotional problems. My voice came out small. They're not real, Your Honor.
He studied me.
Do you have proof? I opened my mouth, then closed it. I had nothing. No screenshots. No recordings. No witnesses. Just my word. And my word meant nothing against printed papers. Mr. Jenkins stood up. Your Honor, he said, we request time to verify these materials. Daniel's lawyer smiled. Objection. This case has been delayed long enough. The judge nodded slowly. I will allow 1 week, he said. 1 week only. My knees almost gave out. 1 week. 7 days to save my daughter. 7 days to prove I wasn't crazy. 7 days to fight a man who knew all my weaknesses. After court, Daniel walked past me.
He stopped.
Leaned close. So only I could hear. You should have stayed quiet, he whispered. Now you're done. Then he walked away. Like I was nothing. That night, Lily slept beside me, holding my arm, like she was afraid I'd disappear. I stared at the ceiling and made a promise. I will not lose her, no matter what. The next morning, I started digging. I checked my old emails, my phone, my laptop, every message, every photo, every backup. Nothing. Daniel had been smart. Too smart. Then I remembered something. The house. Our old house. We had cameras. Security cameras. Daniel installed them to protect us.
They were connected to an app.
On his phone. But years ago, he had also put it on my tablet. I rushed to the drawer. Pulled it out. The screen was dusty. Battery dead. I charged it. My hands were shaking. When it turned on, I opened the security app. It asked for a password. I tried our anniversary.
Wrong.
Lily's birthday.
Wrong.
Then I tried his mother's birthday. Access granted. I almost cried. The app loaded. Footage. Months of it. I scrolled and froze. The night I had called him crying. The night I told the judge about. The night everything broke. I clicked play. The living room appeared. Empty. Then Daniel walked in. With Ashley. Laughing. Kissing. Like they owned the place. My heart shattered all over again. Then things got worse. They started arguing. Ashley shouted, "You promised you'd leave her." Daniel yelled, "I'm working on it." Then he did something I never expected. He grabbed her arm.
Hard.
She cried out, "Don't touch me." He pushed her onto the couch. I covered my mouth. I felt sick. Then the camera went black. Cut off. Timestamp, 9:42 p.m. I checked other cameras. All stopped. Same time, 9:42 p.m. Someone had turned them off. On purpose. I kept scrolling. Another date. 2 weeks later.
Play.
Daniel was on the phone. Angry. "Yes, I reported her," he said. "They'll think she's unstable now." My blood ran cold. "I'll get full custody," he continued. "She won't know what hit her." I dropped the tablet. It hit the floor. I was shaking. He had planned everything. The police call. The reports. The lies. All of it. I wasn't crazy. I was trapped. I picked up the tablet and saved everything. Copied it to a flash drive. Then another. Then another. I wasn't taking chances. Next, I went to Mr. Jenkins' office. He watched the videos.
His face changed.
From calm to shocked to angry. "This," he said slowly, "changes everything." "But will the judge accept it?" I asked. "Yes," he replied, "if it's real and untouched." Then disaster struck. That evening, I came home. My door was open. My stomach dropped. I ran inside.
Drawers were pulled out.
Closet empty. Papers everywhere. My laptop was gone. My tablet was gone. My flash drives were gone. Someone had robbed me.
No.
Not someone. Daniel. I collapsed on the floor, screaming,
Crying.
Everything was gone. All my proof. All my hope. And then my phone buzzed. A message from Daniel. "Game over, Emily. You'll never beat me." I stared at the screen. My hands numb. My body cold. He had destroyed my evidence. He had won. Or so he thought. Because he didn't know. I had made one more copy. And it was hidden somewhere he would never look. And the next court date was in 3 days. But before I could even reach it, something else happened. 2 nights later, at 2 a.m., loud sirens woke me up. Red and blue lights filled my bedroom. Police burst in. "Emily Harris," an officer said, "you are under arrest for child endangerment and destruction of private property." I screamed. "What? I didn't do anything." They handcuffed me. Lily woke up crying. "Mama, Mama." I tried to reach her. They pulled me away. As my daughter screamed my name, they dragged me out into the night. And Daniel was standing outside, watching,
Smiling. Cold.
That was the first thing I felt. Cold metal on my wrists, cold air on my skin, cold fear in my heart. I sat in a small jail cell, hugging my knees, listening to the echo of doors slamming.
Bang. Bang. Bang.
Each sound felt like my life closing. I kept seeing Lily's face. Her crying. Her tiny hands reaching for me. Mama. And I wasn't there. I whispered into the darkness. Please God, don't let him take her from me. At sunrise, they brought me out. I looked terrible. Messy hair. Red eyes. Wrinkled dress. They put me in a room with a metal table. After a while, Mr. Jenkins walked in. His face was serious, but his eyes were bright. Emily, he said quietly, do you still have the copy? I swallowed. Yes, I whispered. In my church locker. Only I know. He closed his eyes and smiled. Good, he said, because we're about to turn this around. Later that day, I was released on bail. My parents paid it with their savings. I cried in my mother's arms like a little girl. I'm sorry, I kept saying. She held my face.
You are strong, she said.
And the truth will win. 2 days later, it was time. The final court hearing. The biggest day of my life. I walked into the courthouse shaking. But this time, I wasn't alone. Mr. Jenkins walked beside me. My parents behind me. My church pastor. 2 teachers from my school. People who believed me. Daniel was already there. Wearing another expensive suit. Smiling like always. Ashley sat beside him. Her smile was gone. She looked nervous. The judge entered. Everyone stood.
Be seated, he said.
My heart was beating so fast, I thought I would faint. Daniel's lawyer stood first. Your Honor, she said, due to Mrs. Harris's recent arrest, we request immediate full custody. Daniel nodded confidently, like he was sure, like he had already won. Then Mr. Jenkins stood up. Your Honor, he said calmly, before you decide, we would like to submit new evidence. Daniel's smile froze. The judge raised his eyebrow. Proceed. Mr. Jenkins plugged in a flash drive. The screen behind the judge lit up. My hands were sweating. The first video played. Daniel and Ashley in my living room. Laughing.
Kissing.
Gasps filled the room. The second video played. Their argument. Him grabbing her arm. Pushing her. Ashley looked down. The third video played. Daniel on the phone. Yes, I reported her. They'll think she's unstable. The room exploded. People whispered. Someone said, "Oh my God." The judge's face hardened. Mr. Jenkins spoke clearly. Your Honor, these videos prove Mr. Harris staged police reports, destroyed evidence, lied under oath, and emotionally manipulated the court. Daniel jumped up. This is fake, he shouted. She made this. The judge slammed his gavel. Sit down. Then the judge turned to Daniel. His voice was sharp. Mr. Harris, do you recognize this footage? Daniel's mouth opened.
Closed.
Opened again. No, he lied. The judge leaned forward. Then explain, he said, why the metadata shows these files were recorded by your home security system and stored on your private server. Silence. Daniel looked at his lawyer. She avoided his eyes. Ashley started crying. I didn't know, she whispered. He told me she was crazy. Then she stood up. I'll tell the truth, she said. Everyone turned. He made me help him, Ashley cried. He told me to send fake messages. He planned everything. He said he'd take her daughter and start over with me. Daniel shouted, Shut up. The judge banged the gavel again. Enough. He looked straight at Daniel, the same way he had in Chapter 1. Mr. Harris, he said slowly, what were you doing on the night your wife called the police? And why did every camera in your house suddenly stop working? Daniel's face went white. His lips trembled. He had no answer. No lie left. No trick left. Nothing. The judge nodded. I see, he said. Then he spoke words I will never forget. Mrs. Harris is cleared of all accusations. I burst into tears. Mr. Harris, he continued, you are found guilty of perjury, false reporting, evidence tampering, and emotional abuse. Daniel screamed. No. 2 officers stepped forward. Handcuffs clicked, just like mine had. Only this time, they were for him. As they took him away, he looked at me. Not with anger. With fear. with regret, with the face of a man who knew he had made the worst mistake of his life. I got full custody,
Full rights.
full protection. Daniel was sentenced to prison.
5 years.
Ashley left him. His job fired him. His friends disappeared. Everything he built on lies collapsed.
Like sand.
A month later, I went back to work.
The school welcomed me.
My students hugged me. My life slowly healed. Lily sleeps peacefully again. She laughs again. She trusts again.
So do I.
I learned something. Love should never hurt you. Marriage should never cage you. Silence should never replace truth. If someone tries to destroy you, don't fight with hate. Fight with truth. Fight with courage. Fight with faith. Because lies run fast, but truth runs forever. And if my story touched you, if it gave you hope, if it reminded you of your strength,
Please subscribe.
stay with me. Because more real stories are coming. And no matter how dark it gets, you are never alone.